how happy was that? The happy couple. Did you see them? Tom and Balana finally getting married. You know, they've been on this ship for what, 5 years now? It's about time we finally saw some happiness like that, you know? You see a scene like that and you think nothing could ever go wrong. Crap. What the hell was that? Did you see that? Alright, well, we do learn, in short order, that the ship and crew are made up entirely of goo, like so.
Behold the primordial soup.
That's what created us.
Not just us. The entire ship is composed of the same material.
It's a biomimetic compound.
And, well, because of that...
The enhanced drive is emitting some form of subspace radiation that's affecting Voyager's infrastructure.
Now, before I go any further, what the hell is with the enhanced warp drive? I mean, enhanced warp drive, they didn't really get into it, and you know, of course maybe that's a good thing. They didn't really spend a whole lot of time going like, oh, well, you see, we have to fold space and do this, or, you know, they didn't go into like, oh yeah, we opened a quantum wormhole by polarizing, you know. Enhanced warp drive. Very, very simple, but effective. You understand that they somehow created a warp drive that goes, you know, faster. But, anyway, you know, soon after we learn that they're made up of goo, or we learn how stupid the mimetic Janeway really is.
Duplicate or not, I'm still the same person I was yesterday, and so are all of you. And that means we're going to do everything possible to complete our mission, which is to reach Earth. Is that clear?
Yeah. I can tell from that the mimetic goo Janeway, when she copied Janeway, she seems to have copied her IQ too. Of course, you know, that makes it sound like I don't like Janeway. I like Janeway, I really do. She's one of my favorite captains. But, I don't know. That is exactly what Janeway would do if it were really her, and you know it. She's, I don't know. You know, doesn't care what her crew thinks. She's headstrong. Maybe that makes her a good captain, I don't know. But, it's a good episode. I'm going to give this episode a warp 7. I really like it. Even though there's a lot of silly things in this episode, a lot of unbelievable things. Especially, you know, I think the worst part about, you know, the thing that always bothered me about this episode was their backup plan.
I want to download the ship's database and our personal logs into a signal beacon. In the event we don't survive, there should be some record of our accomplishments.
A time capsule.
Now, we already know from what they said earlier that the whole ship is made up of this goo, except for the few things that they've brought aboard, you know, since they've been to the Demon Planet. Well, okay. I don't know, this should already be clicking in your guys' heads, but I mean, they're going to build a probe and launch it, but they already said earlier that even though they've taken the warp drive offline, it's still, the disintegration's still happening. What does that mean? It means that the probe, even if they launch it, is going to disintegrate. Now, I don't know if that was the point they were trying to drive home at the end when the probe was destroyed. I think it seemed to me like it was just destroyed because of a misfire, and, you know, they couldn't salvage it in time. But, even if they had gotten it off, it would have just gooed away eventually, right? I don't know. Anyway, things don't go so well for mimetic Voyager. They get really, really bad, as you can see here.
Our situation's getting worse every day. More than 80% of the ship is uninhabitable. Most of the crew are gone. It seems less and less likely that the few of us left will reach our destination.
So, we spend most of the episode watching the ship fall apart, watching the people die. You know, that's what we spend most of the episode doing. And, even though, like I said, a lot of this episode's pretty silly, it's the ending to this episode that I really like. And honestly, the first time I saw this episode, I almost cried. Literally, tears were like welling up in my eyes. Like, I was sad.
Hull breaches on decks 9, 10, and 11.
7.
Computer. How long until we're within hailing range of that ship?
5 minutes and 30 seconds. 5 minutes and 30 seconds.
I found the source of the distress call. It's coming from a vessel.
Can you identify it?
No, the readings are erratic. Looks like they've taken heavy damage.
400,000 kilometers?
Drop to impulse. Are the rescue teams ready? Bridge to sickbay. Stand by for casualties.
In visual range.
On screen.
I mean, you could tell by the look on Memetic Kim's face. He knew he was going to die, you know. He knew he wasn't going to make it. He was still minutes away. The ship was falling apart. He knew it. It was sad. And you know what's even sadder than that? You know, than the whole crew dying after, you know? I mean, they even though they only existed for 9 months, they felt like they lived a lifetime. I mean, these were people, you know? I mean, they were alive. And after all of that, after, you know, everything they'd been through, this is the only thing, the only impact, or what should I say? This is the only legacy that they leave to the universe. The only existence that, you know, the only proof that they ever existed is this right here.
Make a note in the ship's record. We received a distress call at 0900 hours. Arrived at the vessel's last known coordinates of 2120. The ship was destroyed. Cause unknown. No survivors.
How sad is that? That's even sadder than when Spock died in my mind. I mean, at least when Spock died, he died for a noble cause. I mean, he died saving his friends and the ship. I mean, it was sad, but I mean, this was like a death without meaning. You know? And really, it's kind of, I mean, you gotta think about it. They created some sort of weird enhanced warp drive that put them within 2 years of home. That's something that the original Voyager couldn't do. You know, maybe maybe they should have stayed alive and gotten home and, you know, screw the real Voyager. They couldn't think of this, whatever enhanced warp drive is. Although we don't know the whole story, maybe they encountered it somewhere. It's really not fair to say. But, like I said, you know, if you don't mind an episode that tugs at the old heartstrings and, you know, you want to make fun of Janeway for being silly, and, I don't know, I like it. It's a good episode. I think it's one of Voyager's better episodes. It's, Season 5 episode. Course Oblivion. I don't think I actually mentioned the name of the episode earlier. Course Oblivion. Season 5, Voyager. Warp 7. Check it out. See y'all later.